These are the officers and dogs of the Madison, Wisconsin Canine Unit. The mission: protect the streets 24/7. Dangerous criminals can run, they can hide, but they can't escape the Madison Canine Cops.
Madison Police Canine, you in the building? Talk to me nice, I'm a dog, he'll bite.
It's November in Madison, and despite the wind, the snow, and the bone-chilling cold, criminals are busy. Officer Karen Corcoran and her canine partner Slim are called to track a suspect in the armed robbery of the Life is Good store on State Street.
Male black, approximately 30 years old, wearing dark clothing and his face covered with a scarf. Displayed a silver handgun, took the cash and left in an unknown direction.
11:43, copy.
I'm getting dispatched to respond to assist. They had an armed robbery at Life is Good store, and we're going to try to track them inside the store. The suspect leaned across the back counter, so I took sterile gauze, placed it on the counter in order to gather the scent of the suspect. Once I presented the odor to Slim, he took off towards the front of the store. He actually climbed up on the door, which is an indication on Slim's part to say that the person he's trying to track went somewhere outside of a door.
Corcoran and Slim tracked the suspect up Gilman Street to the Buckeye parking lot.
Slim cast around the entire parking lot, and then he ended up giving a down indication in one parking stall, which is his way of communicating whoever he was just following, the scent has stopped. And then it's our job as the handlers to assess, well, where is it stopped at? All of that communicates to us that maybe it was a car pickup.
I was contacted actually the following day by Lieutenant Donahue, who was like super excited. And she had viewed a video of the end of Slim's track where she saw what she thought was a suspect vehicle park into a parking stall and then leave, and then later she saw Slim come into that parking stall and end the track there.
So I pulled the cameras back up and started to backtrack in the video footage, and I saw a suspicious vehicle that had been in the Buckeye lot just prior to the robbery. So I watched that vehicle, and it pulled into a stall and it backed in. It just sat momentarily before leaving again. But what was interesting to me also was that it left the parking lot in the same direction that it came into the parking lot. It just didn't fit. And so I asked Karen to go back to the parking lot and show me on video which stall they ended the track in, and sure enough it was the very stall that vehicle had been backed into. Officer Farrow, now detective, is a mastermind when it comes to the cameras in that area. He went and backtracked from the previous robbery that was on the 14th and also saw some suspicious activity involving a vehicle that looked very similar to the one that was backed into the Buckeye lot.
Officer Mansavage was working in patrol, and she's assigned to the West District Community Policing Team. So as she's working her normal assignment, she gets called out for canine uses. She was called to do a track at a store on State Street called the Madison Market. And she brought canine Falco there to try to attempt to track to see if she could gain some evidence.
I went in and talked to the clerk real quick. She said that the male subject was standing on the mat across from her and across from the cash register. She said that he stood there and threatened her with the gun, so I knew that he clearly was dropping scent. Falco picked up the scent from the mat. We started tracking up towards the Capitol, probably mid-block Gorham Street. He took another left turn into the church lot and was tracking along really well. I started seeing negatives from him, and basically what that meant was I saw his head coming up and I saw him checking various areas within the lot. After I saw multiple negatives, he gave me a down indication, and through our training, I know that he was communicating to me that the scent was gone.
Officers on our department were then made aware that there was a GPS unit placed on this suspect vehicle. A short time later, I don't remember the date, there was a similar robbery in the city of Middleton. Officers immediately went to the area where they believed that suspect would be returning into the city of Madison and saw that vehicle traveling a route that would obviously be a return route home from the robbery in Middleton.
1143?
1143?
You're going to need you on channel 7. You and your partner are requested. They've got a armed robbery suspect that's being followed on University inbound from Klinke Cleaners. Can you respond?
1143, I copy. I'm actually at West PD, but I'll start. So Slim will be there, and I, in order to remind the bad guys that they may not want to run because there's a dog there and the dog would be sent, potentially, if they ran from the traffic stop. If they run from the traffic stop, we're en route, so we can very quickly attempt to track from the high-risk traffic stop to catch whoever's fled from the car. And then we'll also be utilized if there's any drug aspect to the vehicle. Slim will be used to sniff the vehicle for illegal drugs. And then the other thing would be is if they fled from the vehicle on the stop, we would also use the dog potentially after a track to do an article search in the event they tossed any physical evidence while they're fleeing from the vehicle. These types of situations are extremely dangerous for us because we do not know for sure if we have the right people, and if we do, why are they committing the robbery? What's their state of mind? Have they already committed a crime and they're just trying to get money to get to their next destiny? And it's just that moment of truth with them on how badly they want to get away, or is this the day that they finally get caught?
Driver, hands up, do it now. Take the keys, turn them off. Throw the keys out of the window. Slowly open the door from the outside. Slowly step outside, keep your hands in the air. Turn away from me. Slowly walk backwards towards the point. Keep walking. Keep walking.
Thanks to the diligent work of the Madison police and detectives and their canine partners, former Wisconsin Badger football player Jack Ikegwuono and his twin brother William were arrested and charged with robbery and for brandishing a firearm. The brothers confessed to police they were responsible for 5 robberies in November 2014 and were using the money to purchase heroin. In June of 2015, Jack Ikegwuono was sentenced to 9.5 years in federal prison. His brother William was sentenced to 9 years.
What's amazing about this case is it kind of shows the capability of the dogs, which 5-10 years ago, we didn't really think it was possible. Their abilities is just amazing, you know, and to us it seems like magic. It seems just, you know, even canine handlers don't believe their dogs can do this. I think in the future, with tracking capabilities of dogs, and once we realize, you know, what they can do, that we'll be able to write search warrants on a track from a dog going from point A to point B. and to get a search warrant solely based on the canine's capabilities. It's not happened yet in the courts across the country. It hasn't happened here, but I think we're certainly heading in that direction.